Hey guys, I'm ShinigamiHarry, and welcome to the Bleach Tag. This is a video where I'm basically going to answer some questions that rely on my opinions about the anime/manga series of Bleach. And the first question asks who my favorite character is. And while to answer that, there are quite a couple out there, like Kenpachi. But if you're asking for my number one, it would probably be Hollow Ichigo, also known now as Zangetsu. He is just like a mirror image of Ichigo negative. He's the anti-Ichigo, so to say, and all his fights are pretty epic. But when we answer a question like this, we gotta answer the opposite. And my least would be none other than Pepe, a character everyone basically hates at this point. Let's look at the character. He is this guy who is a freaking coward, hides behind rocks, and just wears freaking adult diapers. Enough said. But moving on to number 3, we have a question that asks what my favorite arc is. And I gotta say, I like most of them, but it would either have to be the first or second arc, being the Substitute Shinigami or Soul Society arc, because the first arc was all simple. It was just Ichigo and Rukia just hunting hollows. But when they went into the Soul Society arc, all the battles were pretty epic, the story was pretty great. But after it didn't seem as interesting. It was still good though. But like I said with the first two, we gotta answer the opposite, because at number 4 we have what my least favorite arc is. And a lot of people usually say filler arcs, preferably the Bound arc, but I enjoyed them. The arc I hated the most, though, would probably be one that is canon, the Fullbringer arc. I feel they rushed it, and I get it. They need to think of a way to go ahead and have Ichigo's get his power back. But still, I think the Fishman Island arc of One Piece is better than this. And I know, that's a stretch, but still, I'm not going back on it. But in number 5, we have my favorite Gotei 13 member, or of the 13 Court Guard squads, and that would be none other than Kenpachi Izaraki himself. Look at him. The man's a beast. His spiritual pressure / Raitsu is monstrous. He has a freaking sword known as Nozarashi that can transform into a freaking giant butcher knife. But moving on to the next question, we have what my favorite Zanpakuto is. And I know, call it a cliche, but it is Zangetsu. Yes, I know. But this sword is just epic. It's humongous. It can launch Getsugas. And for the next question, my favorite Bankai, you guessed it, Zangetsu. So, call it cliche. But at number 8, we have my favorite fight, and that's pretty hard to choose. There's so much. There's Byakuya versus Ichigo. There's Kenpachi versus Ichigo. There's Ukiura versus Ichigo. There's Aizen versus Ichigo. All the fights with Ichigo, well, most of them are pretty good. But I have to put all of those on there. I'm sorry I couldn't pick one. But moving on, we have the most epic moment. But like the last question, it's hard to choose. There are just so many, like Ichigo turning into a hollow while fighting the Vizards and Byakuya, and the final slash between Ichigo and Kenpachi, which caused a huge explosion. But moving on to number 10, we have my favorite Vizard, and he may not be considered one now because after the time skip, he was promoted to captain, but still, he can holify, and it is none other than Tensei Magumata, because I like the character's personality, I like his attitude, I like his powers. Look at his Zanpakuto. It is this wind-based one, and that's a property that I kind of like. Plus, he doesn't really take crap from anyone as well. But at number 11, we have a scene that made me happy, and that is tricky. After all the fights and during them, it gives me a sense of joy / relief when the fight ends as well. But off the top of my head, probably something with Ichigo and Rukia, I don't know. But like all of the other questions, we gotta go ahead and ask the opposite, and this would be what made me sad, and it would be Ichigo and Rukia's farewell. Sure, there are some Orihime fans out there, but I'm pretty sure that made some tear up as well, because that was just emotional. It was just a great plot ending, but they decided to continue for some reason. But now we move on to my favorite fan couple, and by now, if you haven't predicted it, it's Ichigo and Rukia, also known as Ichi-Ruki by the shippers. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop it, because people will just go ahead and argue about who they think is the better shipping thing, like Ichigo and Rukia, or Ichigo and Orihime. Though, moving away from this, we can move on to number 14, a character I feel like I'm most like. And to tell you the truth, it's kind of hard to figure out, because I'm not really the best at comparing my own personality to the others. But if you're asking me off the top of my head, it would probably be a mix between Ukiura and Ichigo. And a little fact for you guys, I'm born on July 15th, just like Ichigo. Though, moving on to number 15, we have my favorite Arrancar, and it would either be Ukiura or Grimmjow, the two badasses among them, Espada. But, like opposites earlier, we gotta talk about my least favorite, and that's a tough decision, but it either has to be Yami or Aroniero, because Aroniero is just this weak little Arrancar. He just absorbs others for power and just uses his Kai and Zanpakuto as a weapon, while Yami just gets his power from anger, which is an obvious reference to the Hulk from Marvel. However, moving on to number 17, we have my favorite release form, and it would be none other than Segunda Etapa. I mean, it's just this black demon-looking bat, plus it's the most powerful form among the Espada. Though, it's obvious by now that Grimmjow has obtained the form. I mean, it's been 17 months. The character has obviously gained the power of Segunda Etapa. Though, moving on to question number 18, it asks who my favorite Quincy is. And I have to tell you, I'm not a big fan of the Quincy's, though if I have to answer this, it would be either Uryu, Gremmy, or Asnot. But looking onto this, it would probably be Gremmy because he could just imagine all their qualities onto himself. But moving on to the next question, number 19, it asks my favorite Volstandig, and it would probably be Asnot's because if you guys don't know, I'm into all that fear-oriented stuff. Though, at number 20, we have a character I would love to cosplay as, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I have some wigs, and I'd like to use them for a video in the future, maybe cosplay with them. Though, I'm not the best with makeup and all that, so probably not going to happen a cosplay, but if I was good, I'd probably do Byakuya, Ukiura, Ichigo, Mayuri, and Grimmjow. But maybe a person can dream. Though, moving on to the last and final question, number 21, we have my favorite episode, and this is something I really didn't want to answer. There's like 300-something episodes out there, but off the top of my head, it would probably be the episode before the Fullbringer arc. I mean, like I said earlier, it was just a great conclusion, and it had the whole Ichiruki moment in it. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below of the Bleach Tag, and if you feel like it, go ahead and answer it yourself. But now here comes the good part, the people I get to tag, and that would be James Hansen, For Neverworld, Bob Samurai, and NZ Anime. But I'm Harrison the Shinigami, and remember to stay cool, watch anime, read manga, and I'll see you guys later.